Welcome you all for this session, Types of Cost. Before going to see in this particular topic, you need to understand the kind of cost which incurred for the production of goods and services. If you take for example, if I am going to manufacture a product, there are a different cost which associating with this. It is like I am going to buy the raw material. I need to pay the charges for bringing the raw material into my warehouse. It is like a transportation cost I need to pay. It is like the kind of cost which incurred while I am going to bring the material back to the factory for production process. For the production process that starts with the raw material is going to be converted into the finished goods. In this, there are different stages and a different process which incurred. In each process, I am going to spend the kind of cost which incurred for the each process. So that including the material, labor, and the overhead expenses which are also included while manufacturing the goods. So at the end, the raw material has converted into work in progress, the work in progress converted into the finished goods, and the finished goods I am going for packaging. Once this particular process is completed, I am going to store the finished goods into the warehouse. I am going to transport those finished goods to the various channels of distribution. It is like the wholesaler, it is like retailers, or through online. There are different channels in which I am going to send this goods, or it is like for them also we need to pay the charges. It is like a commission or incentives we are going to provide to the vendors, provide to the channels of distribution, and then we need to make this particular product visible to the market by means of conducting a kind of promotional activities, distribution related activities, and there are expenses also happens indirectly for the promotion of this particular product in the market and administrating the overall activities. Together we have administrative expenses, selling expenses, distribution expenses. Likewise, there are different costs which included for manufacturing of goods. Similar way, you can take the services, rendering of services. There are different services. It can be offered. The kind of expenses, the direct expenses or the overhead expenses are also incurred. It is like the material we can use the labor force. The majority we can take the services industry which incur huge human capital. The huge employees have been used for the purpose of offering the services. It depends on the nature of service what they are offering. Some more time, it is a kind of a cost which incurred for production of goods. The kind of services is also included. It is like the product also have a kind of a component of service. Similar way, the service also includes the characteristics of a product. So likewise, the kind of the different proportion we need to go use the different cost which incurred for manufacturing or which incurred for production of goods and services. So with this introduction, I am entering into this topic, types of cost. There are the different classifications. We are going to divide the cost into a various category. It is like the short run cost and long run cost, average cost, marginal cost, total cost, fixed cost, variable cost, direct and indirect cost, implicit or book cost, opportunity cost, recurring cost, non-recurring cost, sunk cost, incremental cost, cash cost. Or few classification of cost are taken in this session that I am going to explain each one of the cost individually. The first one, short-run cost. What is a short-run cost? Which depends on the level of activity. The costs that tend to change, the kind of a cost which is not only the variable cost, also a fixed cost also comes under this category of short-run cost. Basically, a short-run cost which purely depends on the level of production, that the cost tend to change. It is going to be measured. So in this, the short-run costs that vary with the variation in output, with the variation in level of production, the costs are also tend to change. If I am going to manufacture goods, if I am going to increase the production, according to increase in production, I am going to use the level of raw material is increasing, employees are also increasing for manufacturing of goods. Long run, I am going to use the machinery. So it's like you can take, for example, if I am going to manufacture a particular product which need an hour for converting the raw material into a finished product, and I am going to spend 10 rupee per product for the conversion, for the wages I am going to pay to the labor for manufacturing of one product per hour I am going to pay. And for using of machinery, it's like electricity charges and other charges. It is like operating charges which require, standard operating charges which required for using that particular machinery. It is like you can take assumption as like it is 2 rupees. Like you can take the example. So what cost which is incurred if I am going to manufacture 10 units? So the raw material cost is 10 rupee, the labor I am going to pay 10 rupee, the material or like the manufacturing, it is like processing by using the machinery I am going to pay 2 rupees per hour. It is like the total in that, if one particular person, with a particular person I am going to manufacture the product, I need to spend 100 rupee for labor, 100 rupee for material, 20 rupee for machinery. If I am going to manufacture a 5 product, it comes 50 rupee for material, 50 rupee for labor, as well 10 rupee for the machinery, usage of machinery. So together I need to pay 110 rupee for manufacturing of 5 units. For 10 units I am going to pay 220 rupees. So this particular cost will tend to change according to the level of production. So I just have taken for one particular example. It is like I am going to use the manpower, machinery and material I have been used. There are some other expenses are also incurred in this particular process. It is like I am going to promote this particular product into a market. For that I am going to give advertisement. It is like a standard charges which applicable, or like a fixed charges which applicable for giving advertisement for the particular product into a market. Either I am using newspaper advertisement or television advertisement or using celebrity or whatever it may be. So that depends on the fixed cost. It is like you can take example of 5,000 rupees. So the 5,000 rupees is like the fixed cost. So here in short-run cost, we are going to take the fixed cost as well as the variable cost. Primarily, The variable cost, which is being given due importance in the short run cost, it is purely measure how the level of activity is going to be changed in the particular organization. Accordingly, how much or the cost is being used or the cost is going to be spent by the organization is going to be measured in this. It is to be noted that the running cost and depreciation of capital assets are also included in the short run cost. So we can take one thing from here. It is like a running cost for running of the organization. It is like you need to buy the raw material, you need to pay the wages to the employees. It is like you need to spend the charges for running the machinery. It is not only that the variable cost, it is also like a fixed cost also incurred for during the short term period, during the short run cost. It is like a depreciation you can take. If the depreciation is calculated on the straight line basis, it's like a fixed cost. Every year the kind of cost which we incurred for that particular capital asset, what the capital asset is being used for manufacturing of a product. For that we need to spend, for that we need to write off the value. Then the short run cost are both fixed cost as well as the variable cost together included in the short run cost. And the short run cost increases or decreases, it is purely based on the level of production. It is mainly concentrating on the level of production, how the cost that tend to change in the organization. So how once we are going to minimize the cost, we need to pay the attention. So what aspect the cost is increasing in the organization, what would be the optimum level of production we need to go for. We need to find it out from this particular short run cost, which is highly useful for us, also help us to determine the working capital requirements for the organization also. So how much cost is totally required for the organization, how much we need to keep in the form of liquid assets, the kind of decisions are going to be taken by the organization by using this particular concept. And the next one is a long run cost. The long run cost that incurred on the fixed assets like purchasing of plant, machineries. Likewise, the things are going to be brought for the purpose of or for the requirement of a business organization. For that, the particular purpose we are using this capital assets, which comes under the category of long-term cost. The long-term cost which is we are using, which is the kind of a fixed assets we are going to buy it for the requirement for fulfilling the objectives of the organization or fulfilling the requirements of the organization we are going to buy. So that also comes under the category of long-term cost. And the long-run cost, there are no fixed cost. It means with the different level, with the different period of time, the long run we can take, it is going to be the different set or the different periods which has been included. It is like, for example, I can take one particular example. For the same level of advertisement, we are going for the same level of advertisement. For this particular year, if you are going to spend 5,000 rupee, for next 2 years it is like 5,000 rupee. For the third year adverts, it is like 8,000 rupee. In another 10 years, it is like 12,000 rupees in the market. So what with that the 3 years duration, with that the particular cost which remains constant, it is like a fixed cost. But when we are move ahead of this, it is like after the 3 years or after the 4 years, the cost is also revised in the market. What we call it as all the cost, all the fixed cost what we have been taken are also tend to change, also tend to vary. That is what in that the long run cost we are saying that the long run cost is considering more about variable cost. And efficient long run costs are sustained when the combination of output that a firm produces the results in the desired quantity of goods at the lower possible cost. In the long term cost, we want to reduce the cost of production. So it is we are going for the higher level of production, or we are going to stick on to that the particular point where the optimum production may happen at that particular point of time. The costs are also going to be reduced in the organization. In that the long run cost, we are going to find it out this particular thing with a different combination, with a different level of production. We arrive at the kind of a quantity we are going to order, the kind of a quantity we are going to bring it from the supplier, and we are going to manufacture, we are going to sell the product to the market. Likewise, the different things are to be taken, different factors are to be deployed for the calculation that aims to minimize the cost and maximize the revenue to the organization. So that we can call it as the long run cost. And the total cost is accumulated cost. Together all the costs are to be included. The total cost, which includes the fixed cost as well as for the variable cost. It is like the direct cost and indirect cost. Whatever the cost you have been spent for that manufacturing of a particular product, together all the costs are to be included. It is like the total expenditure which incurred for the production of goods and services. It's a direct expenses, the indirect expenses. Likewise, there are different costs which together included the accumulated value, the total value of a cost, we call it as a total cost. It is like average cost is not actual cost. It is like dividing the cost by its output. With a different period of time, we are manufacturing a different product. For the different products, it means the same product we are going for manufacturing in a different period of time. For a period of time, we are going to pay the different cost. It is like you can say, for example, it is like a raw material I am going to buy it for my business organization. For the January to March, I am going to pay 5 rupees per material. It is like February. It is like you can take the April to June. You can take going to buy it for 6 rupees. Like you can take during the month of the rest of the month. You can take from July to December. If you are going to use 7 rupee. So it is like the January, February, March, the cost of the material is 5 rupee. April, May, June, the cost of the material it is 6 rupees. July to December you can take, the cost of the material is 7 rupee. So if I am going to buy one particular product, or I am going to manufacture one particular product, so what would be the average cost of this material? So the average cost I am going to add the Jan to March. I have purchased one particular product with the cost of 5 rupee, plus with that the April to June I had purchased one product with the cost of 6 rupee, plus July to December I had purchased one product with the cost of 7 rupee. So 5 plus 6 plus 7, it is 18 rupees. The cost which I had spent for manufacturing of 3 products or 3 units during this particular year. So what is average cost? Here the total cost divided by the output. So the total cost which incurred for manufacturing of these 3 products or 3 units of a product, together it comes 18 rupees, and I have manufactured, the total output is 3 units. It means per unit is a cost of 6 rupees. So this is, we call it as average cost. We won't say it as 5 rupee, we won't say it as 6 rupee, we won't say it as 7 rupee. Together what would be the value of cost which I have spent for production of this particular goods, and how much the quantity I had manufactured. So So the 18 rupee, the cost which incurred for manufacturing of this particular product. There are 3 units of product manufactured during this time period. It means 18 divided by 3, it comes 6 rupee per product, which we call it as average cost. And the marginal cost. The marginal cost is the addition to the total cost on account of producing at one additional unit of a product. If we are going for additional product, manufacturing of additional product, what would be the cost which incurred for this? Which we call it as marginal cost. Marginal cost is also gained due importance while we are going for or while we are increasing our level of production. So in this you need to take an example for a cost of raw material. I need to pay 5 rupee per material. For the labor, I need to pay another 5 rupee for producing of one particular unit. I need to pay another 5 rupees, and I need to spend 100 rupee for operating the machinery for the period of 1 hour. 100 rupee I need to pay for running of the machinery for the period of 1 hour. For this 1 hour, I can be able to manufacture. You can take, there are the 12 units I can be able to manufacture. It means every 5 minutes I can be able to manufacture one particular product. So one particular product have been manufactured. For that I need to pay the fixed cost of 100 rupee. So how much the maximum units can be produced during this particular period or during this particular time? There are about 12 units we can be able to manufacture. What would be the cost which incurred for manufacturing of a product? I am not going to take much cost or much elements are not taken in this particular. I just have to take very few information. So if I am going for the higher level of production, if it is like the 12 units I am going to produce. For the 12 units I am going to buy the raw material. A cost of a raw material, 1 unit of a raw material is 5 rupee. Hence 60 rupee for raw material. And for producing a product, we need to pay the wage to the labor at the rate of 5 per unit. So the 5 rupees we are going to pay at the time, it means at the duration of 1 hour, we can be able to manufacture 12 units. Per unit we are going to pay 5 rupee, it means 60 rupee to the labor, 100 rupee to the, it means 100 rupees to the machinery. So for the higher level, the 12 units, I need to pay 60 rupees for labor, 60 rupees for material, 100 rupees for machinery. Together I have spent 220 rupees for manufacturing of 12 units. It is like you can take with the example, with this particular example you can take, it comes 18 rupees, averagely I have taken 18 rupees per unit. But if you take 18 or it comes 18.4, exactly you can take, it comes 18.4 rupees. In this 18.4 rupee, a cost which incurred for manufacturing of 12 units. If you can take an example, if I am going to manufacture only one particular product, for the one particular product I am going to buy the raw material with the cost of 5 rupees, and I'm going to use the labor force, or I'm going to use the labor for manufacturing process. I need to pay 5 per unit, so 10 rupee, and the machinery cost which remains constant 100 rupee. So the 110 rupee I am going to pay for buying of a or manufacturing of a single product. But if I am going to manufacture the 12 units, I need to pay 18.4 rupees. So that's the difference. So for manufacturing of additional unit, or manufacturing or producing of additional one more unit, what would be the result in cost of a product? That is going to be measured in the marginal costing. You can take an example. So one product we need to pay, for manufacturing of one product, you need to pay 110 rupee. For manufacturing of 12 product, per product you are going to pay 18.4 rupees. Even if you are going beyond that, if I am going to manufacture a 13 product, I am going to use an additional hour, or I am going to run the additional machinery. For that I am going to pay, how much I am going to pay? So for an hour I am going to pay 110 rupee. Together what I have the total of the 220 rupees for 12 product. So the 13th product, which incurred a cost of 330 rupees. 13th product which incurred a cost of 330 rupees. Then what would be the result? What would be the changes? It is, we can take the changes in the cost. It comes 25 rupees. You can take an example. In this 25 rupees you can take. So the cost that tend to change, for one product you need to pay 110 rupee, 12 product you need to pay 18.4 rupee. For you can take the 13 product you need to pay 25 rupees. So what would be the resulting changes of one more unit? The production of one more unit, how much cost we need to pay? So that is going to be measured in the marginal cost. The next important concept is the fixed cost and the variable cost. So the fixed cost, the concept itself, it remains constant up to certain level. Say for example, if I am going to use the machinery with a capacity of 1000 units. For that I am going to pay 10,000 rupees. It means if I am going to use the maximum capacity of 1000 units, per unit I need to pay 10 rupee. But instead of 1000 units, if I am going to use 100 units, only 100 units, again that remains constant, 10,000 rupees I am going to spend. So the fixed cost, that constant in value of certain given level of output. If it is a machinery, it is total capacity of a machinery, we can say it's a fixed cost. Apart from its capacity, that tend to change. It means if during that particular period, if you are going to use that particular machinery, say for example for a period of 8 hours you are going to use that particular machinery, or in an average you can use the 1000 units in that particular machinery, you can spend 10,000 rupees. Instead of that, if you are going to use that particular machinery for producing of 1500 units, 1000 units, it comes 10,000 rupees. For 500 you can run the another machinery. The same type of machinery is also a cost of 10,000 rupees for running the machinery. So likewise, up to certain level, up to a given point of time, or up to the production capacity, then the cost which remains constant, we call it as fixed cost. And the variable cost that tend to change according to the level of output, they tend to change according to the level of production. We call it as variable cost. So say for example, if I am going to produce a product, a material is a cost of 5 rupee. If I want to produce 1000 units, the material with a cost of 5000 rupees I am going to spend. If I am going for the 5000 units I am going to manufacture, 25,000 rupees you are going to spend for buying of material. So what increase in level of activity or decrease in level of activity, the cost will tend to change. That we call it as variable cost, which tend to change, which depends on the level of activity. So in this, a cost that changes with the change in the volume of activity of the organization. Like a material, like a labor you can take, they tend to change. Or the best example for the variable cost, direct and indirect costs. What are the direct and indirect costs? Direct cost are directly attributed towards the production of goods and services, which we call it as a direct cost. It is like a factory cost, purchasing of material, payment of wages. Likewise, the kind of expenses that happen towards the manufacturing of goods or services. Indirect cost is like overhead expenses, not directly related to the products, not directly related to the manufacturing of products or production of services, which not directly involved, which is indirectly involved for promoting of a product. It is like distribution expenses, selling expenses, administration expenses. Likewise, the different type of cost we are going to pay that comes under the category of indirect cost. Implicit or book costs. It is like an implicit cost. It does not in the form of cash outlay, nor do not appear in the accounting system, which we consider it as an implicit cost. Such costs are called it as implicit cost or imputed cost. So it is an important aspect you need to understand. The kind of cost which is not in the form of cash outlay, which is not in the form, which the kind of cost may not be occur, but we can assume with the intensity of different variables, we can assume the cost. So the cost is called it as imputed cost, or it is an implicit cost. Say for example, if you own a particular house, in that the particular house, you are using the house, but you want to calculate how much I have used that particular house. It is like if I am going to render this particular property to some other people, how much I am going to get the rent from this particular property. So I am going to calculate. So it is like a property. With that the property, it is, I have assumed that this particular property is going to be give 5,000 rupees per month. For a year I have calculated 60,000 rupees the rent. It is going to be realized from this particular property. But I have not rented this particular property, I am using this particular property. So what I have calculated, the 60,000 rupees I have spent for using this particular property. So this particular cost, we call it as imputed cost. It's an implicit cost which incurred, which is not directly expressed, but we are calculating that particular cost. We call it as implicit cost. Like similar thing, if I have my own vehicle, using that particular vehicle I am going to calculate how much I am going to spend for reaching from one place to another place. it was not exactly happen, but I'm using some factor like fuel charges, likewise some other maintenance charges that I have been used to calculate. So likewise the kind of calculation, likewise the kind of cost, we call it as implicit cost. Even you can say the best example of some implicit cost which may not be happen, but we can assume that the cost may be happen. The book cost is otherwise called it as explicit cost. The explicit cost falls under the actual cost which entered into the books of accounts. If I am using that particular machinery, I am paying 1000 rupees. It's an explicit cost. If I am using this particular property, I am going to pay the 6000 rupees rent per month. It's an explicit cost. I am going to buy this particular product with a cost of 500 rupees. It's an explicit cost. So the cost which can be expressed or entered into the books of accounts. In the books of accounts, you are only going to enter into the realized value or expressed value, only you are going to enter into this. So that is what the explicit cost is otherwise called it as book cost. The next one is opportunity cost. The opportunity cost, it represents an alternative given up when a decision is made. This cost is therefore most relevant for two mutually exclusive events. In investing, it is the difference in returns between a chosen investment and one that is necessarily passed on. Means, say for example, the opportunity cost, instead of investing into that particular investment avenue, if I am going to invest into some other investments, what would be the return I am going to get out of this? It's an opportunity cost. I will be calculating the opportunity. I will be calculating the possibility of making investment, possibility of taking decision towards buying the particular product, towards buying the particular machinery, which we call it as opportunity cost. Instead of investing into my business, if I am going to invest into some other investment, what would be the return I am going to get? Instead of investing in my business, if I am going to invest some other investment, if I am going to get 10%, the 10% is the opportunity cost. Instead of investing into a particular investment, the other investment has been chosen for the investment, we call it as opportunity cost. Evaluation of various alternatives, which one is going to be feasible, is going to be invested, we call it as opportunity cost. Simply I can say another example, if your cash balance of your business organization is at 10,000 rupees, so that 10,000 rupee may not be earned any profit, or that particular 10,000 rupee you have been deposited into a bank or a post office into a saving bank account, you might get only 3.75% to 4%. It means might be getting some 375 rupees to 400 rupees only you might get in that the year. Instead of that, if you are going to make investment of this 10,000 rupee into the equities, investing into equities or some other investment option, what would be the return you are going to get? We'll be calculating that. We call it as opportunity cost. And the recurring and non-recurring cost which incurred, what would be the recurring cost and non-recurring cost? The recurring cost regularly occurring, or it is estimated which the documented with the record, with one record, we call it as recurring cost, which happens frequently, the kind of cost which may happen. It is like your postpaid, if you are using that, the kind of recurring expenses happen. Likewise, the kind of expenses are frequently happen. With that the duration, the kind of expenses are happen, that comes under the recurring expenses. Like you can take the EB bill, insurance charges, or the premium what you have been paid for the insurance. Likewise, and the non-recurring cost which may happen at one time or occasionally the expenses are happen. which we call it as non-recurring cost, purchasing of machinery. We are not going to buy frequently or month on month, on hour, we are not going to buy the machinery. The kind of a machinery what you are going to buy it for a year or buy it for 5 years or 10 years with the periodical interval, or whenever there is a requirement for the organization. If the machinery is out of date, the machinery is not being in use, we are going to buy the machinery at that particular point of time. We can't able to determine the period in which we are going to buy the particular product or buy the particular machinery. The kind of cost we are not able to estimate. That comes under the non-recurring cost. The kind of capital expenses which included. The kind of the recurring cost, it is like the current expenses. It is like the kind of expenses which may happen frequently. But then the non-recurring cost is like a capital cost which may happen any one particular point of time. The sunk cost is an important aspect you need to understand about the sunk cost. It cannot be altered, increased or decreased by varying the rate of output, which we may not be able to identify, which we may not be able to derive the value. See, say for example, if I have purchased the particular machinery with the cost of 1 lakh rupee. With that, if I have been used that particular machinery for a year or a second year or a third year, I am going to use the value of that particular asset, which may not be varying with the rate of output. In that first year, the machinery has produced 1,000 units. That the second year, if the machinery is producing 1,000 units, it means the value of the asset does not get any changes. It is like depreciation and other things are for that particular purpose we are calculating. Accounting purpose we are calculating. But for the sunk cost, that the value of the asset which cannot be altered. Even in that the machinery has produced 1,000 units in the first year, the second year it is 1,000 units. If we have purchased that particular machinery for 1 lakh rupee, the first year is also we consider that the machinery is 1 lakh rupee purchased with the 1 lakh rupee. Second year is also the machinery is purchased with that 2 years back or 3 years back, the machinery is purchased with 1 lakh rupee, which remains constant. It doesn't make any changes in its asset value. What we call it as a sunk cost. Incremental cost, change in overall cost that result from a particular decision is being made, which we call it as incremental cost. It is like if I am going to use this particular machinery for manufacturing the product, instead of that I am going to use some other machinery. So what would be the cost which incurred while I am going to use or while I am going to buy the additional machinery, which we call it as incremental cost. Instead of using the same ingredient for manufacturing the product, instead of that I am going to take a decision for using the another material or another ingredient for this particular product. So that the decision is going to change the cost which incurred for manufacturing of that particular product. We call it as incremental cost. Based on the decision that the cost which tend to change. And the last one, the cash cost. It means a cost that they have been paid in the form of cash, which is being entered into the books of accounts. The cost have been paid. It comes under the category of cash cost. So if I have been paid the wages in the form of cash, likewise the kind of a transaction which have been used the cash for the particular transaction comes under the category of cash cost. So these are the major types of cost which involving with the various level of activity you.